Hello and welcome to Dateline Lagos on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Coming up on the program, Lagos holds 2022 Education Summit, State Government inspects Ojo General Hospital project, and Lagos holds seminar on market sanitation and security. The Lagos State Government says it will continue to prioritize education in order to produce students with excellent performance that will become the future leaders. Governor Babajide made this comment at the State 2022 Education Summit held at Eko Hotel and Suites, Victoria Island. He says Lagos has recorded 80% performance in the West African Examination Council and will stop at nothing to raise the bar.
You also interact with the other side.
It's the 2022 Lagos Education Summit. Experts in the education sector, students and other key stakeholders converge on Eko Hotel and Suites to discuss how to create a sustainable education model in the state. Expectations are high that this summit will contribute to the process of solving major issues associated with the education sector.
We want to live here with practical and implementable solutions that can be used to build the workforce that will power the Lagos State economic development agenda, where we will be able to hire competent Lagosians, from the plumber of the bricklayer at the construction site to the project manager supervising and even the CEO in the corner office. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a dream that one day the bricklayer, project manager and CEO at the construction site will be residents of Lagos, come through our system, and they will be competent, a product of our homegrown, sustainable, fit-for-purpose education system.
The panel session highlights what should be put in place to improve standards.
And if the last 2.5 years have told us anything as well, that ability to be agile, to flex, and also the increasing reliance on technology. So how do we bring that into the classrooms from our primary through to our tertiary education systems to develop the skills for the future, both hard skills and the soft skills that we've talked about. So that creative and analytical thinking, leadership, teamwork, communication and collaboration, as well as the academic qualifications. And these 6 areas, if I may, very briefly touch on, which we can look into more. I've mentioned technology, so a future model that leverages on the technology, both in terms of pedagogy, the teaching methods in the classroom, but also the skills for the students. One that's designed to cater to the needs of both learners and teachers. So the curriculum and pedagogy, very important there. And agile and adaptable, responding to the needs of the context and the people that make up the system. And a model that's inclusive. In Lagos, I'd like to recognise the work that Lagos State has done very much to encourage and promote a model of affordable and accessible education and ensure that that education is accessible to all.
The Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget is collaborating with the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund and GIZ to build what we call a Lagos State labor market information system. And the idea for it is to be able to connect between what is happening in our institutions of training and what is happening in industry. The second point around fit for purpose is the whole idea that we are dealing with a very poor population. And an actively poor population requires that they must work and earn money to be able to learn. Okay? And therefore, we need that education system or model that adapts very well with the varying availability of the citizen. And it's in that light, having studied the way you see school dropouts in our secondary school system, the commissioner just announced our introduction of the comprehensive school. Why do students drop out? They drop out because they really want to work and support the family. And so you need to introduce some form of technical and vocational school system in the secondary school that keeps them in the learning environment and equips them with the kind of skill they require to deliver value in the markets that are available. We are looking at a system that will deliver a mix of soft skills about creativity, around critical thinking, around negotiation, and some core technical skills. That system must be a system that is not elongated.
The way I would like to focus on this is, just a little bit of statistics. I think it's important. 15 million children out of school, but sometimes we think of it as a number. 15 million is 75% of Lagos state population today. So just think that 75% of the people that walk our streets should be in school. On the national level, we spend 5% of budget on education. The world average is about 14%. That's scary that we're not spending as much as we should. We're only spending 3% of GDP when the world average is in excess of 5%. I think it's important to understand where the gaps are in sorting out the problems. I think it's critical. It is not by chance that the Finnish ambassador is here. We all hold up Finland as an example. But the example is not that, it's not like as if we have not provided for it in our curriculum. The problem is that we don't execute properly. So why is Finland a great example? Only because of skills, of technical education. So Finland makes sure that you don't only get academic education, you also get technical education. But our structure provides for it. We just don't execute. So I think it's important to understand what's fit for purpose. Let's think, what's the future of work? All of us have seen what the last 3 years has brought us. The future of work is agile, it's flexible, it's technology. That's what we need to provide for. That's what we need to dimension for. And I think particularly important is to understand that we can do it. We need to change curriculum. We need to understand that employers of labor, complain about the turnout from our schools. I think it's important that I hate to say public-private partnership, but I'd like to say that educators and employers of labor sit in a room and agree what needs to be done. For me as chair of Teach for All, what are the things that are important to us? It's about leadership, it's about teaching, it's about understanding that if we don't get the curriculum right, if we don't constantly retrain our teachers, if we don't understand that technology is going to be the only solution going forward, just given the total numbers that we're having to deal with, I think we're going to fail at it.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who joins virtually, says his administration set aside 10% of his 2022 budget for education, which has led to positive results.
The investment we have made in education in the last 3 years, we are beginning to see the benefit of it. We're beginning to see it show up in the outcome of, the WAEC results that is coming out from our public schools. 3 years ago, we were below 40%. Now we've crossed the 80% mark in all of our public, secondary school. And we believe that it could be sustained, and we can continue to use the benefit of our learning, to keep these students and to keep these pupils, galvanized and going forward, be able to continue to excel in their school curriculum. And we're also doing that in tandem with looking at the welfare, and the need, of our teachers. How well are we ensuring that our teachers in the classrooms that they work, and the environment in which they pass on these skills that have been well improved upon. These are some of the things that I'm sure the ministry will be showing and will be displaying, to you in the course of today and tomorrow. So for me, really, is to say that I'm indeed happy with our modest success in the education sector. We believe that we can still do a lot more. We believe that we have the capacity to take a lot more. And I'm hoping that even at the end of this summit, we can have a real conversation, especially with our private schools. You know, what are the things that we need to do to ensure that we can get, you know, a lot more registered schools on our monitoring radar, and we can indeed begin to work with them and ensure that all of the to-do lists, all of the things that we all need to do to ensure that we reduce extensively, you know, unregistered, unrecognized schools, and how do we ensure that we get a lot more, you know, out of school children? How do we ensure that we get them back into school and we keep them, you know, within the school premises? I'm hoping that, you know, the outcome of this discussion will help us, you know, ventilate those ideas and bring forward, implement our things that we need to do to improve, you know, in some of these shortcomings area.
Participants are hopeful that deliberations at this summit will help shaping the state's education sector to achieve a fit-for-purpose academic standard.
From education to healthcare. In the next 9 months from now, the Ojo General Hospital will be ready for operation. This is coming from the State Commissioner for Health, Professor Abayomi, who made this comment when he paid a visit to the construction site at Ojo. Take a look.
This is the ongoing project at the Ojo General Hospital in Ojo local government area of Lagos. The project was conceived by the administration of Governor Babajide over a year ago to improve access to quality healthcare services in neighboring communities in the state. The State Commissioner for Health, Professor Abayomi, arrives at the site to inspect the 280-bed facility under construction. He moves around the project site to see the progress made so far. The Commissioner says the facility is designed with special attention to low carbon footprints.
And below that ground there, the water is about 1 or 2 meters below. Down? Yeah. 4 meters. Right at the point of design, we've paid attention to the functionality, the flow of the patients, the flow of the staff. We've made sure that the construction is low carbon and that when the building is completed, we've put design features into this building that will keep it naturally as cool as possible. We all know that the price of fuel is rising exponentially, and it's becoming harder now to maintain our public facilities because of the cost of fuel. And so, in keeping with the climate change directives, construction moving forward should pay attention to low carbon in terms of how the building is built, and also low maintenance costs, so that we don't have to use a lot of electricity to have a functional building. We are building it in keeping with the environment. So we spent a long time looking at where the sun rises and sets and what type of winds are coming off the ocean. We've orientated the building in such a way that it has natural ventilation, and that where possible, the occupiers of the building, as they are working, will not require as much artificial cooling as is normally required if you just build a glass box and you want to keep the whole building under air conditioning. So many components of this building are going to be naturally ventilated and naturally cooled, and it will bring down our cost, which is not only good for us and the budget of the state, but it's also in keeping with climate change directives moving forward in mitigation and adaptation strategies to changing paradigms around use of fossil fuel. We will also have a lot of renewable energy incorporated into this building. So there will be solar panels. The footprint of the building is very large. It gives us opportunity to put in solar panels to capture natural heat and natural electricity and energy, and combine that with grid energy to keep the maintenance low.
The hospital is designed to provide healthcare services to over 2 million citizens within its catchment area, and also provide accommodation for medical staff.
There are several features to this hospital. It is a 280-bed general hospital. It has multiple specialties that will be operating here: surgery, medicine, obstetric, pediatrics, neurological, infectious disease. All kinds of disciplines will be here. What we're also doing is we are, on that side, you can see those buildings there are staff quarters. So anytime, as you know, we've been having long discussions with medical personnel around their comfort and safety within our medical facilities. What we used to do before was just build hospitals without paying attention to accommodation. Now every building has a significant component of it which includes accommodation for medical staff, critical medical staff who need to be around for long periods of time as they deliver their service. So we have 4 units over there with 8 flats in each unit, and each of those flats is a multi-bedded apartment. So it will create opportunity for us to keep our staff on ground, which is very important for the efficient running of the staff. We know that people sometimes staff have to travel long distances to come to work. They have to leave early in the morning, and when they're going home after work, it takes them a lot of time before they get home. That adds to the job satisfaction of our medical personnel, that they're not going to be put under stress coming to work or put under stress going back home and having to get up very early in the morning to come to work. So these are some of the components we're building into this facility. So this general hospital will service all Lagosians in a catchment area of about 2 million population. So in that direction along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway, the nearest general hospital is Badagry. North in this way along Iba Road, you will get to Alimosho. And if you go this way back into Lagos, you get to Amuwo Odofin. So this place here fills a big gap to service essentially the Ojo local government and its catchment area, including into the lagoon communities like Snake Island and Tin Can Island, will drain into this general hospital.
The hospital is designed to provide healthcare services to over 2 million citizens within its catchment area and also provide accommodation for medical staff. The Lagos State government says the Ojo General Hospital will be a one-stop facility that will provide medical services in multiple specialties, including surgery, medicine, neurology, and infectious diseases, among others.
And finally on the program, the wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, calls on market stakeholders in Lagos to become responsive and sensitive to security concerns. She made this known at a one-day seminar organized by the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials on market sanitation, security and safety for market leaders in Surulere Division of Lagos, and even charged them to join in the system of intelligence gathering by divulging information of security threats to the appropriate channels.
The Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials, in collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government and Community Affairs, has brought together market leaders across the state to reorientate them on sanitation and security. Wife of the Lagos State Governor, Dr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, alongside wife of the Deputy Governor, Oluremi Hamzat, are in Surulere Local Government Secretariat to educate them on the need to be security conscious and keep the market environment clean. The state government is concerned about the safety and well-being of its residents, and so the governor's wife takes the lead by reiterating the need to live healthier lives and other issues.
The babalogists, the yaologists that are out there in the market that are not able to come here, you are their representatives, you are their ambassadors to preach the word that cleanliness is next to godliness, ìmọ́tótó ó gorí àrùn. Ó ṣe pàtàkì kan ká jẹ́ kí wọ́n mọ̀ pa ìmọ́tótó. To make the work easier, there's division of labor, and that is why cleanliness will be improving all the time. Not only the 6 divisions that you gave us, Ma, E1, E2, Central 1, Central 2, West 1, West 2. You will also need to subdivide again, which I know you have done in your place, because we have 57 local governments and CDAs. So you need more hands to supervise, and I'm sure that's something that you are doing in your side over there.
It is our duty to ensure we maintain good hygiene in our markets and community, as this will help in preventing infections and diseases that could be harmful and injurious to us. We should also be very conscious and vigilant of any strange happenings within our market and outside and markets and environments. If we notice unpleasant things around us or in our markets or our communities, we should not hesitate to call on security personnel in our areas to intervene. When you see something, please say something, and please do something. Don't just keep quiet. Please. That is the only way that we can have our community back. We see, we say, and we do something. Additionally, we should know that the best way to keep life going is when we come together as one and make conscious efforts to protect ourselves, our neighbors, make our environment clean, ensure our collective safety to open-minded, careful, watchful, vigilant, and security conscious at all times. I believe that the knowledge acquired on security environment, safety, and management by different stakeholders at this forum will further strengthen our efforts on hygiene, security, safety, and our markets and communities at large. I enjoy you all to address strictly to all the instruction given at this forum and work collectively with security personnel. As we all go home today, please, let us reflect on what we have been discussing at this seminar, inform others, and make good use of the information for our benefit.
Security, fire service, and state environment officials also educate the people on issues that will be of benefit to their day-to-day activities.
Àwọn ìyá ọlọ́jà àti bàbá ọlọ́jà ó yẹ kọ́kọ́ mọ àwọn ọlọ́pàá tó wà ní àgbègbè wọn, àwọn tó cover market yẹn ó yẹ kó mọ̀ torí tí nǹkan bá ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn ló lè ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́, àwọn ló máa kọ́kọ́ sá lọ bá.
These calls are echoed by representatives from the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, who urge the market women to meet sanitary conditions and stay healthy.
This is one of the cardinal ways of ensuring sanitation in the state. It is an advocacy, and it is more comprehensive in the sense that it includes teaching. Facilitators were invited to train those people on the way we want them to do these things. So it is essential because in the state agenda, we have health and environment together in the team agenda. So under that agenda, it is preventive health that environment is classified as. So if we are able to do it, ensure that our environment are clean, our handling of market are clean, then there will be reduction in the health hazard and the rate of disease. Our expectation is that as we have been doing this now, just as we have been noticing, there is improvement in the sanitation around the market in the state. Our expectation is that by the end of this administration before next year, state and market should meet sanitary conditions, standard, that you'll be happy to go to market, you'll be interested in buying even if you don't wish to buy. That is the situation what we are looking at. We have a clean, healthy environment.
This is a very great program, and I have to commend the organizers, especially the wife of the governor of Lagos State, for organizing this and for continuing in it. It's a veritable vehicle for dissemination of information, vital information on environmental management, especially as it regards market sanitation. Market is a place where a lot of people gather from all walks of life, and then they exchange goods and services. The activity is so cumbersome. that a lot of people come, they have close interactions. During the interaction, they come close to each other, they exchange body fluids, they exchange saliva, they exchange body contacts. And this has a lot to do with disease transmission. And at this program, a lot of such education is made to know, so that they will prevent issues that will lead to transmission of diseases within the market. The way they will manage the environment to make sure the environmental hygiene and personal hygiene is enhanced, to ensure that the market is rid of pests which are vectors of transmission of diseases. And if this is strictly adhered to, we know definitely that knowledge is power, and the marketers are empowered by this knowledge so that they can do the needful within their market, and so the market will be safe, and whatever they do there also will be hygienic for people's consumption.
Market stakeholders have been asked to support the government in keeping Lagos safe and speak out when they think there's any form of security threat.
And this is where we call it a day on this week's edition of Dateline Lagos. As always, thank you for watching. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Till we come your way again next time, stay safe. Bye-bye now.